Yes, people, welcome back to another stream on the channel, and this is your FA Cup fourth round preview. And yeah, listen, FA Cup football's back this weekend. We're back for another stream, and obviously, listen, I don't need to say anything on the sponsor. You guys already know. Just check them out. And yeah, listen, we do have a few guests with us right now. Let's start adding them. First is Manny. How you doing, Manny?
All good, Orest. All good. Happy to be here. Nice, relaxing stuff on a Thursday night, and yeah, ready to go.
Good. Next is the co-host himself, Hard Deep. How you doing?
How you guys doing?
Yeah, not bad, man. Obviously, nice win yesterday. Wembley,
Oh, almost
Wembley.
there.
But
We're
yeah,
almost there.
listen, we're close. We're close to winning our first trophy on the tonight. But yeah, I'm not bad, man. Hard Deep, how you doing?
You know what? I'm actually very good, thank you. Considering we're heading towards the fourth round of the FA Cup, and you know what? Well, I think it's for this weekend. United against Reading. It's going to be a really intriguing fixture.
Yeah, obviously points. Listen,
Points. So
we're going to touch about him, but for me, obviously he did play for Liverpool, but this United legend thing needs to. I even though listen, he was great for United. Don't get me wrong, but he did play for Liverpool, so yeah. Got Ollie. How you doing, Ollie?
Yeah, all good.
Obviously, you're going to throw the table, so yeah, you should also fans are all good. Aston Villa fan, Bailey, how you doing?
Good. You?
Yeah, not bad. As I said to Hardy, first trophy soon. And also, we got a new guest, Dan from Red Devils TV. How you doing?
Nice to meet you guys. Yeah, thank you for the invite today. I'm all good.
No worries. Let's go through the comments because it's all popping off. Obviously, guys, the basic step is just smash the likes. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and also subscribe. Go subscribe to Ollie's channel. Go subscribe to Dan's channel as well. Away says comments. Listen, mate, this guy since the Manchester Derby, he's been hiding. But listen, Away's big up, mate. Big up Ensman TV. Big up Bobby, mate. Big up, even though Spurs are not doing that well. I mean, yeah, they hit and miss right now, but big up Bobby. Azam podcast, big up, smash exactly, man. Smash the likes. Two Blues podcast. This is a Chelsea fan says, comment City. Wow. Obviously, Bailey himself says something like Ryan, big up yourself, and also Hashim, big up yourself. So, FA Cup football is back this weekend. First game tomorrow. This is a big one, man. This is a big one. And this is Manchester City versus Arsenal. Obviously, I'll let the Arsenal fans go first. Manny, how you feeling for tomorrow?
Well, I do not want to see tomorrow being labelled a free hit. I would like to see the team go out with an intent to prove that they are taking the FA Cup seriously. And it won't be easy because when you have a good first 11 and a poor bench, there's not really much you can do as a manager. I know that we've made the acquisitions of Trossard and Kiwior permanent, and I do hope that both of them will play tomorrow. I mean, Trossard should play, and as for Kiwior, I think the paperwork should have been completed in time. I think he will. But it's in the midfield that I worry because when you have a midfield bench consisting of Fabio Vieira, who came from Portugal to play for Arsenal. Fat lot of good that did. And then Sambi Lokonga, who is almost effectively like Bambi Lokonga, a deer in the headlights. You worry. And so you're not really able to countenance an idea of dropping all three of Partey, Odegaard, and Xhaka. One of those three will have to play. And it's that midfield that can worry me because although, for all of the talk of how United struggled in a few games and also lost their EFL Cup semi-final to Southampton, they're a type of team which does take the cup seriously. The cups seriously, that's League and FA Cup seriously. They always try to compete. And the prospect of, going with a weakened midfield up against the City midfield, which can contain anyone from the likes of Kevin De Bruyne to Ilkay Gundogan to Bernardo Silva to several others who can certainly contribute, it fills me with dread. So I think it's going to be up to us to make sure that we have a somewhat patched midfield. We could invariably see someone like a Granit Xhaka playing in the FA Cup and captaining the team and trying to unite that three-man midfield. And then we definitely need to give Saka a rest. So I would like to see someone like Reece Nelson or Marquinhos come in. And Martinelli, it should be Nelson and Marquinhos who would come in on the wing for me.
What about Trossard?
And I probably wouldn't mind playing Trossard as a centre forward. Because again, it means that with Jesus out, who could we possibly have as a striker? And I know Eddie Nketiah has been scoring goals, but I mean, do we play him again and again and again and again? Maybe we do until Jesus comes back. So, yeah, it could very well be that we start with Nelson and Trossard or Marquinhos and Trossard. And I suppose we will have to sort of stick with Eddie Nketiah. And instead of Aaron Ramsdale, I think Matt Turner should definitely play and prove how good he is. But I just don't see us doing too much against the City team, which will be determined to win. And I think Guardiola, City have troubles in the dressing room. Maybe a few, but I'm sure they're not too big troubles that cannot be sorted out by Guardiola and company. So thanks a lot for that, Hanno. But I see this going City's way 2-1. We should compete, but I think we'll just fall short.
I absolutely agree. I mean, let me give you my perspective first. With regards to this game, I think it's going to be a really, really close game in terms of intensity, consistency, and also the mentality of both sides. Because right now, I think with City, though they've been quite inconsistent recently, their plethora of talent, the plethora of quality they have in terms of Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, Rodri as well, Haaland, even Riyad Mahrez in form as well. He's been absolutely exceptional as well. With Riyad Mahrez as well, I think he'll be an influential player this game. And I think for you guys, for Arsenal, if Arsenal wants to take it seriously, we should go full strength. So I'm going to say 2-1 City win as well.
Little City, man. Little Senzu comment. And I've already seen reports that a few players, apparently, they've lost that with Pep. So listen, that's what happens when you're a small team. But yeah, Ollie, we'll go over to you. How do you feel for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm usually always confident with Arsenal, but I'm not really that confident this game. It's probably one of our toughest games so far away, the Etihad. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see the lineups, whether he will rest a lot of players or he'll play a strong team. I think he'll rest a few players. In terms of goalie, I think I don't know if we should risk Matt Turner against City, but I'd realistically play Ramsdale, but we could rest him and play Turner. In terms of defence, I think we should probably start our new centre back. I know it's a bit risky, and then maybe Holding, and then Tomiyasu and Zinchenko. In terms of the attack, I'll probably start Trossard, maybe Marquinhos on the right, and then Nketiah up front. I wouldn't rest Nketiah. I'd play him in this game maybe. And then midfield, I'd probably rest Odegaard and play Fabio Vieira, and then I'll probably go Xhaka and Partey. I know we should rest them, but we should probably go with a strong midfield. Should play a few good players because it's City. I'm going to back the boys. I'm going to go it's going to be a high-scoring game. Both teams are obviously going to score. It's going to be very close. But I'm going to back us to win 2-1. I do agree with the boys though. They could Man City probably favourites to win, but I always back the boys, and I think if we win this, we have a good chance of winning the FA Cup because Man City are one of the best teams in England, and if we can beat them, then surely we can beat all the other teams in it. But yeah, it's going to be looking forward to watching it as well. And I know somebody who's going to the game, so hopefully they enjoy it, and hopefully we get the win ready. Yeah, be a good game.
Yeah, before
just quickly before we go to the next one, the back four should see Tierney and Tomiyasu. Kiwior should definitely come in. And instead of Holding, I think I'd probably play Saliba.
Obviously, before I come to Dan, I'm going to go through the comments quickly. Big up Simon Davies says it's going to be a bizarre event. I'm a blue nose and I'm going through to City. Listen, why is there so many City fans in the chat now? What's going on? Listen,
let's not speak.
Listen, as Tanok says, eras come to an end. So big up City fans, but listen. Oh
Whoa, what's that? What's that?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Tony
No
says,
fun.
big up Tony. Big up Tony. Man in Tony, big up my guys, big up Tony. Yes, smash the likes, guys. We've got 12 people watching. Guys, come on, big up yourselves. Get the likes up, So many comments saying Constantino Bernardo wants to leave. Yeah, I've seen that.
What a shame that
I don't
is.
know. I think
Anna wants to go to Chelsea.
Dan, I'll come over to you. As a neutral perspective, where do you see this game going?
I personally feel like Arsenal should go strong for starters because obviously their last game was against Manchester United. They have no midway break like United did with the League Cup. So obviously Arsenal had a full week off, as City have. So I feel like it's going to be a very strong side. I feel like Pep's going to play his best 11, and Arsenal are going to do the same. And I think it will just be a very standpoint for who wants it more, and I feel that's the way the league's going to go as well. Because obviously, don't forget Arsenal and City both need to play each other twice in the league as a whole. So I feel like that it's Arsenal's game to lose in the league. But when it comes to the FA Cup, is Pep Guardiola playing mind games by saying he doesn't care about losing the Premier League anymore, and he wants to just go for all the domestic trophies or the Champions League maybe? So it really comes down to who wants it more, I think, between these two teams. But the thing is that I think where Arsenal are going to lose out on not winning the league, because I still think City will come back, is that City's second team could probably get top four by themselves. So, and I just feel like that Arsenal, they're very short up front, they're very short in the midfield. And obviously, until Nketiah has obviously come into Arsenal and actually started scoring goals, a load of Arsenal fans were panicking when Gabriel Jesus got injured. And I do like the signing of Trossard, but I think every Arsenal fan knows, but this is obviously just my opinion, that Trossard is coming for one of them players from three spots. He's coming for either Jesus', Martinelli's, or Saka's. So who's that player that he's going to take? I don't know. Is he good enough to become a first teamer? I'm not too sure yet because obviously he's only been at Brighton and he needs to prove it at Arsenal now. But I feel like that I would play Trossard over Martinelli in this game. That's the only swap I would make in the game against City tomorrow.
Interesting. I definitely agree with you, mate. I mean, the thing is, if you look at City right now, the focus is definitely not on the league. It's definitely on domestic competitions. And if they want to win the Champions League or even the FA Cup, they've got to rotate seriously. So, Bailey, let's move on to you, mate. So, what's your perspective on this game?
Yeah, I think this will be a class game. I think, of course, Arsenal are playing well in the league. I think both teams need to go strong here because I think, yes, Arsenal will want to win the Prem, but I think they'll want to try and go far in the FA Cup as well. I think Arsenal should play Trossard and offer new signing. I think Arsenal will win this, but I think it will be a really tight game. I think it'll be 2-1 win to Arsenal.
I definitely agree with you. Let's move on. So, yes, it's Preston Northern versus Tottenham. So, Ollie, let's go back to you, mate. I mean, even though you're an Arsenal fan, I mean, you must definitely love Tottenham's downfall at the moment. So, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it should be an easy win for Tottenham against Preston North End. But I mean, it's a big chance for Preston North End at home. They could be a Premier League team and go on a little bit of a run. But yeah, Tottenham are doing well. They probably want to do quite well in the FA Cup as well. So I see them win this game probably comfortably, maybe 2-0, 3-0. Tottenham win for me, and I think Preston could have a shocker. They could, possibly beat them, but I see Tottenham winning this game.
Absolutely agree with you. So, Bailey, let's move on to you, mate. So, what's your thoughts on the Tottenham versus Preston North End game?
Yeah, I think I've got Preston are in the Championship. They ain't really playing that parkour. They beat the Scum in the Championship last week. However, for Spurs, I don't think they're playing well in the Prem. They did get a massive win against Fulham. I think Spurs will win this, but I can see Preston trying to make it hard for them. I'm going to go 2-0 Spurs.
Interesting. So moving on to you, Dan. So what are your thoughts on this game?
I think Preston are going to win it. I feel like Preston are going to snag the game 1-0. And I feel like that's the way that Antonio Conte has pretty much already said that he's leaving the club at the end of the season. I feel like he really just doesn't care anymore. We know the type of character Antonio Conte is. I feel like he's not going to be at his full focus and at his best. And I feel like he's going to sack off a game like this because I think he really just doesn't care anymore. He's pretty much already said to Heung-min Son and Harry Kane to go and look for other clubs because you're not going to win trophies here. So I just think like Antonio Conte won't be at his full focus. He won't be setting up properly. I think he's going to rotate massively. And I feel like it's going to cause Spurs to lose. And I feel like Preston are going to snag the game 1-0. Obviously, I've watched Preston a few times this season because obviously we've got United have a player called Alvaro Fernandez out on loan there. So
What a player.
I know, so I've watched a few of his games for them, and I think they've looked quite all right this season. Obviously, they're in the Championship, and Championship clubs have proven that they can upset a few big teams. So this season, especially over the years in the FA Cup, that's why the FA Cup is considered a great cup because it allows lower league teams to have a shot against the big boys. And I feel like Preston are going to cause Spurs an upset tomorrow.
Well, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, I'm actually predicting a 1-0 Preston win, so I absolutely agree with it. I mean, I want your answer, mate. So the thing is, with Alvaro Fernandez, what are your thoughts on his doing so far? Do you think he's doing really well?
Yeah, I think he's doing well. Obviously, he's got a lot more development to go for. But again, I feel like that United should be automatically sending out all their players out on loan in the Championship because you play 46 games in the Championship minimum plus domestic cups, and I feel like it's a proper man's league where it allows a player to grow. I mean, look at Amad Diallo this season, James Garner last season. And obviously, I'm just speaking from United players at this point. Obviously, other clubs from England, I think when they want to loan out a player, they should be looking at the Championship because it's still staying to the same type of play style the leagues are. Obviously, we know how physical and fast-paced the Premier League is. And for me, the Championship is just a little bit of a downgrade from that, but you're still going against very physical players. You still have to keep the high tempo, and I feel like England has all the best leagues in the world.
Absolutely agree. Let's go to Ores. So, Ores, I want your thoughts on the Preston North End game versus Tottenham. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, listen, as obviously Dan mentioned, that the Conte, obviously, his future is really, really uncertain. And obviously, the Marzio came out and said that he is for sure that he's going to leave at the end of the season. So Tottenham, they're really screwed, man. Honestly, I feel for them because obviously Levy, Enoch and stuff. So I do feel for Tottenham. But listen, who cares about Tottenham? But obviously this Tottenham Preston North game, it could go either ways, man. It could go either way. Preston North End, if they have the chance, they can win this game. But Tottenham on the other hand, Conte, we all know Conte. Like literally, if you look at him on the Chelsea, he won the league title, and then he went the following next season. So it could happen. He could win the FA Cup and then go. So for me, it could go either way. I think it's going to be a draw, so it will be a replay. So I think it will be a draw for this guy. I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw, but yeah, man, Tottenham, they're not looking good, man. They are not looking good, Tottenham.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to the next fourth tie. So the thing is, it will be Brighton versus Liverpool. I mean, if you look at it from a Premier League perspective, very, very intense, very, very fast pace, and obviously in the away fixture in the Premier League, Liverpool got dominated by Brighton by 3-0. Can that happen again? That remains the question. I do hope so as a United fan, but if you look at it from a neutral perspective, surely Klopp wins this. Dan, let's move on to you. I mean, what are your thoughts on the game? Right, let's carry on. So, Bailey, let's move on to you, mate. So, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, of course. Brighton, of course, playing well in the Premier League. Liverpool have been a struggling season, so they'll probably want to go far in this FA Cup. Brighton did beat Liverpool a couple of weeks ago 3-0. I think Liverpool will win this, but I think it'll be close. I just think Brighton, of course, they might play some of their weak players and just focus on the Prem. So I'm going to go 2-1 win to Liverpool.
Interesting. So yeah, Dan, let's move on to you, mate. So what are your thoughts on this game as neutral?
Well, I hate Liverpool, so I mean, Brighton played Liverpool off the park in their most recent game in the Premier League. They won 3-0. I felt like that Brighton, like, not only did they dominate Liverpool, they actually controlled the game. They were just better on the day, and something's really going wrong at Liverpool at the moment. And I feel like this is Klopp's best way to actually get his hands on trophy this season, because obviously they're out of the League Cup. Champions League, I feel like there's too many good teams in Europe this season, and obviously they're out of the Premier League race. So I feel like that Klopp's going to drill into his players that this is our best chance for silverware this season. And I still think we'll lose tomorrow. I'm going to go for 2-1 Brighton. I feel like that's still just the up for it. I think the way Matomo's playing, March, I feel like that they're currently Brighton's best players. Caicedo is also a great player. So I'm looking forward to seeing the game, and I personally feel like it's going to be 2-1 Brighton.
Interesting. Absolutely agree, mate. I mean, the thing is, if Liverpool can actually win this, that'll have to give them a confidence booster. But if they were to lose, it'll be such absolutely horrific for them, because they need consistency right now. Will they get consistency considering their midfield is absolutely horrendous? I don't really think so. So, Orest, let's go to you, mate. So, what are your thoughts on this game as neutral? I mean, you obviously want Liverpool to lose, considering where you're a United fan, right?
Listen, all I'm going to say is my striker has more goals than Cody Gakpo. That's what I'm going to say. Because Weghorst, 1 goal. By the way, that was his first shot, Weghorst, and he scored this goal. With Gakpo, 3 matches played, 0. So listen, obviously with this game, I do think Brighton will win. I mean, they've been, I would say they've been very, very good under De Zerbi. Obviously, they lost Trossard because that's an attitude problem that De Zerbi didn't like. So yeah, for me, I think Brighton, if they keep Caicedo, they need to keep Caicedo if they want to do good, because Caicedo is their main man in midfield. Obviously, if you look at others, McAllister as well. But for me, Hannah, mate, myself, Orest is never neutral. Listen, Liverpool, why would I back Liverpool? Who would back Liverpool now, man? Come on, man. Then what are they, 9th? Who's going to back Liverpool? For me, Brighton's going to win this 2-1.
Interesting. So, yeah, Ollie, have I asked you?
So in this game, I think Brighton might snatch it. And the last time I predicted this, I predicted Liverpool win, and they didn't win. And I think Liverpool aren't doing very well in the Premier League, and they might want to win the FA Cup. They might take it more seriously. I don't know. But Brighton are at home, and they're doing better than Liverpool in the Premier League. Obviously, they did lose Trossard, but Minotome is playing in his position now, so they don't really need to worry about that. And yeah, they're doing well, and I think that they could win this game. I think Liverpool's score. I do agree with the rest. Gakpo has been shocking. He's supposed to be a good sign.
His new name is Gakpo now.
Yeah, he's not doing well, and I don't see him doing well at Liverpool. He'll flop. But yeah. I think Danny Welbeck might score in this game, maybe, from an Arsenal player.
United.
United. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Brighton win. I think that they're at home. They might want to win this game. I do want to back Liverpool. I think they will win this game, but last time I predicted them to win, they lost. So I think Brighton could do an upset here. And I think Liverpool, last season they would have won this game. This season they've been poor, and I don't think they'll win this game. So I'm backing Brighton to win. I think, maybe Minotoma and Danny Welbeck, and then Liverpool get a consolation goal, maybe Salah or someone like that.
Absolutely agree. So is Manny still awake? Is he still awake? Or is he
Manny, are you still there?
Manny?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't mention in the private chat that I didn't want to be seen yawning. But
That is definitely
yeah.
getting
But
clipped up.
listen. I have the knack of being able to listen while keeping my eyes closed, but I wasn't gonna, let people see me sleeping. But yeah, still Brighton versus Liverpool.
Yeah.
I remember going on Bailey's stream and talking about this game, and this certainly will be a game which Liverpool will have to try and go out to win because, their season has been sliding sideways fast. And I think if they, once their season will be over, they're going to take some stock and lick their wounds and decide that, you know what, we definitely need to have some change. But they will have to take this match quite seriously. I would say that Liverpool should probably have enough to beat Brighton, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to penalties. But this is a win that Liverpool need more than Brighton, it must be said. Oris, are you all right?
Yeah.
Always take shoulder, mate. Calm down, best composure.
Yo, that is definitely getting clipped up, man.
Oh, no. It's not.
Oh, right.
But that's one of the reasons why I switched off my camera, you see.
Bailey, did you get your thoughts in for this game, Bailey?
I've already.
Yeah.
Hardy, what about you? Have you had your thoughts?
No, not yet. But you know what's fair? I think with Brighton, I think they definitely win this game considering the form they're on right now. I mean, irrelevant Premier League form outside as well. They're actually doing exceptionally well domestically as well. So I could see them beating Liverpool by 2-1. So should be comfortable even for Brighton. However, with Liverpool, I won't underestimate them, even though I'm actually going for Brighton win.
And now let's move on to the greatest club in the Premier League, and that is Manchester United versus Reading. We'll do a mini review for yesterday, a mini one, not that long. So, yeah, nice win, 3-0. Dean Anderson, you can have that, mate. You can have Dean Anderson, you can have that, mate. Listen, that interview, I think Hardy remembers this. That interview that he did in the summer was absolute disgrace, and I do not want him back at United. Whatever, all United fans, all the Harrop fans, I want him back. You guys have to remember what that video that he did in the summer, basically he literally called out Ten and the board. So Dean Anderson, that's what you get, mate. And yeah, listen, it was
going out the board, the shit.
Yeah, obviously, we know the board are shit, so he can call that the board, but not Ten Hag.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice win, 3-0, nice win. Obviously, Weghorst, the best striker in Manchester. Already has more goals than Haaland, so. But yeah, listen.
Haaland has 25 goals.
I'm talking about this year only.
Oh.
But yeah, 3-0 standards. Rashford for me. Listen, unbelievable, man. From that halfway line, score from there. Listen, credits. Where is you? And he has to keep it up, man. He has to keep it up. Keep breaking records. Keep breaking records. But that's what I'm gonna say. We're going to Wembley. That's what I'm gonna say. We're going to Wembley. Dan, do you wanna go next? Since obviously you're new and
yeah, I'll start off. I mean, I've not done the preview on my channel yet for the Reading game, but pretty much off the top of my head, obviously Paul Ince is the current manager for Reading. They're doing all right in the Championship. Didn't he save him from relegation last season, Paul Ince? I think that's what happened. Yeah, he saved him from relegation, and I believe right now, Reading in their last 5 games, I think they've won 1, drew 2, and lost 2. I think that's how it's currently shaped out. So they're not in good form, and I remember seeing, because my dad was like buzzing because he got the score prediction right for Stoke versus Reading because he won 4-0. So obviously Stoke won 4-0. So obviously their most recent game, they're not playing. They got battered by Stoke. So I don't think we'll batter them 4-0, but I am confident we'll win. I am going to say another 3-0 victory like it was the other night, but I feel like this is a chance for Garnacho, Palestre, maybe even Mainu to play. I feel like that there'll be serious rotation and United will comfortably win, but we'll keep the big boys on the bench in case like shocks of horror. We do it what City did against Southampton, and we go 2-0 down, and we have to panic and put all our best players on. But I don't think that will do, because for me, Erik ten Hag, he's just a methodical manager. Like he expects perfection, and it's his way or no way. I don't think he'll allow I don't think he'll put out a team when he knows they can't win, if that makes sense. So I feel like he'll be confident in Palestra. Obviously, we're going to have to play Wan-Bissaka. Maybe Brandon Williams will play. I'm not too sure. But I do want to see a serious rotation because obviously we've got the second leg next Wednesday and then we play Crystal Palace again the following weekend. So we've got 3 games in the next 8 days, which is going to be tough. So tonight's going to have to be really smart about it. But I do think that United will win comfortably 3-0.
Mm.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. I mean,
Can I go next? Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair. I absolutely agree with you, mate. I mean, the thing is, with this game against Reading, on the ins, they've been really, really pragmatic. And yes, they're currently 14th for the league. They're going to be really well rested side. And I think we should definitely have a mentality to beat them. And considering the quality we have in the squad, even though we've lost numerous players to injuries, even likes of Delo as well, Van der Beek as well, Martial as well. I mean, he needs to improve his reliability. I don't know what's going on with Martial, but an impactful player for Ten Hag system, but we should definitely have the quality to win. If we rotate seriously and have the right mentality to win, I think we certainly win this fixture by 3-0. And I think with Ten Hag, he's currently very, very methodical, very obsessive with winning, very meticulous in how he coaches the team in our possession. We are still yet to see an evolution in how we play, and with Ten Hag, if he is given the right back in long term, I could certainly see him construct this into a competitive side. So 3-0 United for me.
And I'm also going to add another new guest to the channel. It is Noah. How you doing, Noah?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no worries, man. Big up the sub. You joined at the perfect time because we're talking about Manchester United, your team, our team. So, yeah, man. Let me go through the comments first, and then obviously we go on to you. Seems like all United fans are so. No, I'm not sorry, mate. Thank you for Fresh and Forest, says Ryan. No worries, mate. No worries. Obviously, I know there's a bit of rivalry there between Huntsville and Forest. We'll thrash them again when they come to Old Trafford next. So it's fine.
Thank you, Orest, for thrashing Forest.
Hannah says Rashford. Is this true? Rashford's second most goals this season? No way.
I think behind Haaland, maybe behind Haaland and ongoing competitions in England, perhaps so.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. Reading is awful, says Hannah, yeah, 100%. Ryan says Man United 4-0, yep. Ryan Huntsford is making good moves, yep. Nice think. Reading gonna get smoked 3-0 United and hold on. Big up. Tenor doesn't seem to want to start unnatural lately. I don't know why. I think he's just doing it step by step for me. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. But yeah, I mean, Noah, obviously we face Reading in the FA Cup. What's your thoughts? How do you see this game going?
Well, on Saturday, Reading, they're having a great, a good side in the championship. I know. United teams are, we expected those teams so that we can qualify to, for the next round in the FA Cup like we did against, Nottingham Forest 3-0, bang up, the deal done. Until we have to improve ourselves, for the development, for the, improvements to the team, because I know it will take much time for that, as long as it needs courage, it needs knowledge. I know Ten Hag, what he said on the, on press conference, that he said about Rashford, about, Lisandro Martinez, because this guy's, he's unstoppable, because this is how he wants an expectations to those players, not just from both of them, from the players as well. Since the start of the season, United, Ten Hag, he always know that it's been difficult for him, losing against Brighton and Brentford. Then when he realized those weakness, from Harry Maguire and even those types of players, that it didn't work out as well, for the McTominay as well as a midfield, he realized that he needs a midfield so that Casemiro, he made us a good solution. Even I know Rolando as well, because of leaving it was the right way. Even right now we're moving a right direction. So I'm really happy what we are doing right now. But at this moment, I really hope that we can win this silverware of this trophy this season. No matter what, if it's 2 or 3 trophies, I'm really gonna be happy for what they have achieved.
100%.
That's what I'll say.
100%. No, yeah, I agree with him because a silver is definitely looking likely to know right now, and the way we are playing, I don't see why not. But it's just for me, injuries. Like for me, we can't. Like Casemiro can't get injured. Please, just Casemiro stay
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah.
It just shows that obviously without Casemiro in the lineup, we are destroyed. We're destroyed because Casemiro for me. Listen. McTominay, man, we can't trust him. We cannot trust McTominay to like.
Yeah.
obviously,
The
He's
last
not-
time when I know McTominay should not be playing against Arsenal that time. It was Ten Hag mistake. We all know that. But anyway, listen, against 3-2 against Arsenal, I know. That's fair enough. I give credit to Arsenal. They were better team side, but I think at that side, Arsenal might win this Premier League this season. I really don't want City winning this Premier League as well for the third time in a row. That makes me embarrassed as well. But
yeah.
Mikel, the most difficulty managers that I ever seen in my life was Mikel Arteta. He was almost gonna get sacked, but it takes time to give a knowledge that how giving a young players a chance like Bukayo Saka, Eddie Nketiah, Gabriel Martinelli, they're keeping improvements.
There's a lot of flip flops, man. No, there's a lot of flip flops because they wanted Arteta out before. Now that tonight they wanted him to stay. But yeah, listen, we all know one man called. So I'll call him out as fan called Troops. He was making Arteta out t-shirt.
Yeah.
Listen,
Oh.
he was
Not
making out.
just Troops. It was Don Robbie as well, even Turkish as well. So many Arsenal fans who were saying Mikel Arteta out. That was in the past as well, but there were too many difficulties. No matter what Arsenal wins this Premier League, even next season, you never know what's coming right now.
Yeah.
It might be United's turn next. Let's see what happens.
It could be a nice turn, hopefully with the new owners. But with score prediction, obviously, before we go into score prediction, let's get obviously the neutral people involved to this. So Bailey, how do you see this game, Man United Reading going?
Of course, Reading are, of course, in the Championship. They're having an okay season. However, for United, they're having a really good season, of course. Marcus Rashford is on fire. Bruno Fernandes, of course, scored last night. I think you'll play some youngsters, but I think you'll win this comfortable. I'm gonna go 3-1 United.
Cool. Ollie, how do you see this Man United Reading game going?
Yeah, come Reading. No, I'm joking. Obviously Paul Ince, Reading manager coming.
Talking about that, sorry, I want to cut you off. Hardeep, is he a United legend for you with Paul Ince? Is he a United legend?
I think he is personally. If you look at what he's done in the 90s, absolutely fantastic player. But I think when he left United, I think his treatment was absolutely disgraceful. But Fergie, he was actually right in the end. But I think ideally for what he's done in terms of contributing to trophies and even the 1993 season as well, when we were really impeccable, I think certainly he's definitely regarded as a great legend for the club. But to leave United and go to Liverpool, that's absolutely a sign of disrespect. However, it was down to the club, not as I say with Ferguson.
Cool. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, if I can add my thoughts to that. I mean, I remember watching that United team in the early 90s. And obviously, Paul Ince, as the successor to Brian Robson, who was about to retire, I mean, he obviously played his big role in helping United earn the success they did before going on that almighty run. And, there needs to be a huge, straightening of the record, setting it straight. He was a fine player for United. And I don't believe that in any way he and Ferguson had that much of a big falling out. There is this talk about how he pretty much thought of himself. He thought too highly of himself and how, Ferguson wanted to get rid of him before he got far too big for his boots. But obviously, if that was the case, then Roy Keane would never have stayed at Manchester United as long as he did. And again, with the Liverpool thing, listen, as Arsenal fans, we had that situation with Francesc Fabregas going to Barcelona and then coming back to Chelsea. We could have brought him back to Arsenal, but we chose not to. So Paul Ince obviously wanted to come back to England to be with his family and also make sure that he still kept himself in contention for England. So he wasn't going to turn down the opportunity to play for Liverpool. In any case, you got Michael Owen to join you lot, and he won the Premier League title with you. So that should help you set the record straight. So he is a United legend, regardless of what people might think. I know there are some people who do not like him. I'm not going to waste time calling them out. I think Paul Ince would get a really good reception from the United crowd, and I think don't point at Hardy. He's not calling. He's never. He rates Paul Ince highly.
No, I'm joking. I know Hardy.
Yeah. So as I said, Paul Ince should definitely get a warm welcome and some warm treatment from the fans. And listen, even Ferguson and Ince were able to improve their relationship over the years, both becoming managers, both of them obviously talking a great deal. Ince told a story about how they caught up with each other after a game, and Ferguson ended up drinking all of Ince's wine, which he was a bit peeved by, but obviously seeing Ferguson enjoy that wine might have given him some form of satisfaction. Look, time always heals any wounds, and I think Ince deserves the recognition that he can get. He deserves a good reception from the crowd. Whether it's going to be enough to inspire Reading to victory, I don't know. I think Andy Carroll might score, but I'm going for a 3-1 win as well.
Andy Carroll plays. Oh my goodness!
He's injured anyway.
Oh, he's injured, is he?
Oh,
Well, that throws it out the window. But Reading will still score. I just don't know who it'll be.
Well,
Yeah.
I think their top scorer is currently Ince's son. I think it is. I think it's
Oh,
Thomas
is it? Right.
Ince. who
Oh,
plays for
Tommy
it.
Ince, yeah.
yeah.
Thomas Ince, yeah.
That's a stat for Hardy to put on his fan page.
Go check. So go check.
But yeah, obviously going back to you, Dan. Do you think Paul Ince will get a good reception at Old Trafford from United fans?
I mean, I wouldn't say he was a United legend, but I'd say he's a United great. I feel like that Paul Ince is well respected in United's fan base, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a standing ovation. Not I wouldn't say a standing ovation, but I'd say he gets a good reception. And I feel like the same would be for Michael Carrick if we face Middlesbrough. I feel like it would happen to any ex-United player, even if Paul Scholes was a manager for a random team, because I feel like United fans are well respected, and we respect our previous players, and unless it's like Carlos Tevez or someone like that. So apart from that, I would say that it would get a good reception, and I hope it's a good game, but I feel like that this is the farthest Paul Ince will go in the FA Cup this season.
100%. So score predictions. I'm gonna go to Noah. What do you think when you're reading score predictions?
For tomorrow on Saturday's game, let's see what happens, because some of the United players that might get rest because of some of them, the young players like Perisic, even Garnacho as well. Some of those good players might give them a chance, because you never know what's coming. Like for example, like Zidane, he might give him a chance as well. You never know, because we need some players that who can give their development, their chances, improvement, their qualities as well, their mentality. That's the main thing as a young players that we need for the future of United's generation. That's what I think for me. But anyway, let's see what happens that on the lineup. But my prediction, I'm going to give 4-0, hat-trick Rashford, 1 goal. It might be, I think, there's Garnacho. That's what I'm going to say.
Fair enough. For me, I do agree with you. I expect that obviously Kobe may need to get featured, but hopefully, I feel with Ten Hag, he lacks. Well, he does like rotating, but he does lack a bit of rotation. But he still plays like some of his full starters. But yeah, I agree with you there. Dan, what's the score prediction for against Reading?
I feel like it'll be another 3-0. I feel like that Ten Hag will rotate the majority of the team, I feel like it's a good opportunity for players like Mainu, Palestre, Garnacho to play. So I feel like they'll be up for it. I feel like that the first half will the first half will be 0-0. I feel like United will dominate, but I think because the majority of the players are quite young, it will struggle to score a goal. But then I think as Ten Hag sees the game starting to start to close off, I feel like that's when he'll start bringing on his bigger players. But I still think that Mainu will score. I've just got a gut feeling that Mainu's going to get his first senior goal for Manchester United.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great if he does score on his debut. Hardy, what's your score prediction for against Reading?
Well, for me, I'm going to say 3-1, 3-0 United. Sorry, but I'm going to say 3-1 United. I think 3-1 United will be the result, and I think with Reading, they're going to be decimated in our possession. No disrespect to Paul Windsor and that's a legend, but I think we'll get a great reception at Old Trafford. We'll certainly play in a professional performance. I think with Erik ten Hag, you'll certainly rotate the squad, whether it's going to be full of youngsters, whether it's going to be full of first team. I have a feeling that one of the youngsters will produce. I have a feeling that either Palestre or if not Garnacho, they'll probably score one the same.
Yeah. Obviously, managed put the breaking news: ex-Colo Torre has been sacked as Wigan manager.
Yeah, seen that.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, listen.
Only a month in charge.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, last bit regards to United is obviously one player, Jadon Sancho. I think we've discussed a bit with me and Hardy, but obviously with the new people here, I want to get a touch on that because for me, there's been a lot of United fans saying that they believe in him, some don't. But Noah, do you believe in Sancho? And do you think Ten Hag can get the best out of him?
I think so. I really hope so. That I know the way of Jadon Sancho. I know the way of his performances didn't make good enough. I know since he didn't go as well for the World Cup because it needs him a time to improvement of his mentality as well and his qualities as well. Because of I know some of United fans are expecting him to return, but we do hopefully that he'll be coming back. He'll be back as well in his form. So you never know what's coming. As I said, it's not just Sancho as well, even Antony as well, because I know Antony, he needs to improve day by day, over again, training by training. It needs improvement because the way the Premier League is very hard for him. Since like Sancho as well. At least he needs to improve. As like I said, it needs development. That's the main thing that I really think that Erik ten Hag can pull him out the way, can come back the reality the way he was. Anyway, let's see what happens. That's what I can say.
Absolutely agree. So Stan, moving on to you. Is there a way back for Jadon Sancho?
I mean, I think he'll start tomorrow, and I feel like that Weghorst won't start. And I'll give you my predicted 11. So I don't know if you do this on your channel, but I would say my predicted 11 would probably. I think Jack Butland gets his debut. I think that's for sure. I think Jack Butland starts. I feel like that he might play Brandon Williams because he was in the squad the other night against Forest. I don't want him to play. I don't rate Williams, but I just think he'll just give Wan-Bissaka a rest. I think
the reason why I shook my hand because Brandon Williams for me, he's not good enough.
No, I don't think so either. But I think with the lot out and Wan-Bissaka's been playing every single game for the last month, you've got to give him a chance. I'd go for Lindelof and Martinez. I felt like Lindelof was a bit shaky against Forest, but I feel like that's just due to his form and his match sharpness. Really, he's not been playing that many games consistently, so obviously he's just a bit shaken. I think he'll look a lot more comfortable in the game against Reading. So I'll go for Lindelof and Martinez. I'll go for Malacia. I'll go for McTominay, Fred, and Mainu, and then my front three. I'll have Sancho on the right. I'll have Garnacho through the middle and Palestre on the left.
That's a good lineup,
Scoring a
Obviously,
pretty good line.
midfield-wise, McFred, yeah, I mean, they should be doing a job against Reading, let's be honest. But
Yeah.
Hardeep, yeah, doing say your lineup for this, Hardeep?
Yeah, it's still fair. I think it will be Butland go. With regards to Wan-Bissaka, I think he definitely needs rest, so it will be Brandon Williams, even though he needs to go immediately. Centre backs might be Martinez, Lindelof. Left back might be probably Shaw, but it depends on his fitness, really, and illness. But I'm going to say Malacia. Midfield wise, I think it could be McFred in the pivot. Front four will be perhaps Sancho and Bruno in 10, with Pelestri towards the left hand side, and maybe Weghorst up front. Maybe Garnacho might even be on bench for this time. I do hope he starts, but I think he'll be on bench.
Yeah, 100%. And Noah, do you want to see your lineup for the game against Reading?
Well, that's like, the lineup that for me, I would rather to put, from the midfield, Casemiro and Fred. That's the main thing. It might help them for the team. For the midfield, for the center attacking midfield, I'll put Bruno Fernandes, right? I think it might be Sancho or even Antony. I don't know for sure. But the left will be Garnacho or Rashford, one of them. Then striker Verkos, and the defenders Martinez and Varane. I think it might be, like the last time. Lindelof and Martinez, the right back. Wan-Bissaka, left back. Is going to be, Malisa. The way, Luke showed, the way that he played against Arsenal, it didn't make me to think that he's back as a left back. But he's good at the centre back. There's no doubt about that. I fully respect Luke Shaw, what he's doing right now, having an amazing season, but he needs a development and time. But as a goalkeeper, I would give Jack Butland on his debut. One of it. That's what I would say.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Manny, do you want to see your score prediction for the game against Reading Man United?
I already said it, 3-1.
Yeah,
Oh,
said it. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, with my lineup, I'll probably go the same with you guys, obviously. But if Butland doesn't start, it just shows you that he wasn't there to knock sign him. But as I said before previously, I think Butland is a stopgap for United because we will get a long-term keeper in the summer. That's already guaranteed. But yeah, Vaughan, they got mate says, "I'm gonna think." Yeah, nice. I think he's being sarcastic. So listen, we're trying to do a shorter than an hour, but obviously 7 people is not that bad. But
Yeah, it's not a rush structure. It's not a rush structure, guys. Come on.
listen, we have a proper structure than Man United. So listen, respect us, innit? So we're having like the likes of John Murtle, who's getting called out by Jesse Lingard in a podcast. So who knows? Who knows? But yeah, man. Obviously, with the ownership, last topic, then we will wrap up with the ownership. For Manchester United, when do we expect the big news to come out with regard to the full sale? Because I've seen reports saying that 3 to 4 weeks we could expect, but for me, it could happen as soon as possible, in my opinion. But obviously, it depends because there is definitely something going on behind the scenes. But I'll get on to Dan first. Well, when do you expect, obviously, the sale to come out first?
I honestly don't really give a shit about the sale, to be honest. I mean, for me, all I want is the Glazers to go. I don't care who comes in. It could be Jim Ratcliffe. It could be a Saudi owner. It could be fucking Mr. Beast for all I care. I really don't care, to be honest. As long as we have a competent owner who wants to rebuild the club in the right way and just builds the club properly, rebuilds Old Trafford, sorts out the facilities and stuff. That's all I really care about. So, like I said, for me, it doesn't matter. I mean, the reports are that Jim Ratcliffe's running the race. I think that if he was to be the owner of Manchester United, his intentions would be good. But will he make the right ones is the question.
Absolutely agree with you. So Noah, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on sale? When do you think it will happen?
I think it might be happened by the end of the March for me. That's what I heard from the rumors. listen. This time it has to end this way because we need a move forward. We need a new, development for the news. For the new owners as well. It needs because ever since the owner, the Glazer came, it did not improve me. It did not make us happy the way we have to move forward, but it wouldn't make us happy because I know they every time wasting every time for the transfers it did not improve by the Glazers owners because how many times we're keeping this I don't know what to say because it makes me sick, it makes me angry the way how they're destroying our club, but right now I'm really happy for what things is going forward. Well, until then, the Glazers leaves, we'll have the new owners. No matter what, the new owners, it might be Sir Jim Rafley, or even the Saudi investment, or Qatar, or any other else. Whoever comes in, that's the only thing we can change. That's like we say. That's like our friend said. It needs to rebuild the stadium, even the training facilities as well. That's the main thing. We were missing the point. Also the boards of the directors, take them out, all of them. We don't need them. We need the new ones. We can't risk our life losing ourselves because every time we make silly mistakes, we don't trust each other. For example, if my brother lies to me or doing as a business, you can't do it because if you want to take your future, you have to win because you don't give a damn shit that who doesn't care about their club. Okay, there's no business in the people like that. Okay, business is war. Okay, it might be dog eat dog or rat eat rat. Because if your competitor were joining, he walks over, and that person he would have hold right in his mouth. But can you feel the same? The question is, you got to figure it out yourself. But let's see what happens. But I'm really happy that Cristiano Ronaldo, what he said on that interview about the Glazers things, he spoke to the truth as well. I accept what he said, but until things change, I really hope that I really think it's gonna be the Saudi investment, like Newcastle, what they're doing right now, are doing great. That's the main ownership that we want. That's what I'm gonna say.
Harvey, what's your thoughts on the sale? When do you expect it to happen?
Well, I don't have a specific time frame, but the thing is, I don't actually expect this to happen around about the end of February. The end of February, I mean, which gets to the development in regards to who the consultants will be involved in the bidding process. And I think we're in for full final time frame. I expect it to happen from the end of February to the end of March, perhaps leading towards the end of April thereabouts. You don't know what to expect with our owners. You don't know what to expect with the sale process. Will there be investment? I don't think it will be investment. It will be a full sale. It will be really, really huge if you look at the valuation of our club and the seismic activity of this news. It will be really, really impactful for those media outlets as well, especially for journalists as well. I think personally, in my perspective, I could see United getting sold to maybe someone like Radcliffe. I mean, Radcliffe, fantastic fan overall. And you know what? If you look at Enos, unbelievable company, absolutely efficient company in terms of oil operations, in terms of oil laundering. Have you saw his track record? I think his track record needs actually really, really, really inconsistent, and we shouldn't be going for Radcliffe. Undoubtedly, we don't know what his plans are. It might be really, really huge, but ideally, we need to be going for Saudi's consortium. Ideally, Dubai. Dubai has to be really essential, and they will have the wealth, they will have the income, and they will have the consistency to actually win both on and off pitch. So, with our infrastructure, it definitely needs to prove. Can it happen on the Glazers? No. It will certainly happen on the new owners, and we need to be really, really aggressive if we want to catch the likes of City, Arsenal, even Newcastle as well. We've got to win. We've got to be really efficient.
Yeah, listen, it's not just City, Arsenal, and even Newcastle as well. Take a look at an example like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern
Yeah.
Munich. Those type of clubs who are having, the training facilities of the real developments of their stadium, they're keeping improvements. That's the main thing that what we are needing as sure as well. But until then, listen, if they change the stadium of our Old Trafford, it's going to be embarrassing. We cannot do the same mistake like Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspurs as well. Even the West Ham is still less. It's just an example, but we cannot do wasting our money from those type of the new owners. But I really hope it does not happen. That's what I'm giving my opinion.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, you know what, guys, I want your thoughts, specifically United fans. So, what would you do with Old Trafford? Renovate it, or would you rebuild it? Let's start with Forest. Would you rebuild Old Trafford, or would you renovate it?
There's no way we can rebuild it, man. It's too historic.
There is no way.
Yeah, there's
Come
no
on.
way. Renovate for me. Renovate. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's already confirmed that obviously some of the executive seats will be like seats for the
It has
fans.
many histories of the Old Trafford, that
Yeah.
memories. Come
Absolutely.
on, guys. You cannot just let it go, the past that we had, like, from the comebacks, wins, those type of winning trophies in our Old Trafford. Come on, you guys. This is the main Old Trafford that
Yeah,
everyone
come on,
comes. It's the main part of the history in the
I
Premier League.
want us to get renovated as well.
Nobody
I want
can
to get
never
renovated.
take that away.
Yeah, Dan, come on. I'm joking. Dan, would you renovate or rebuild?
You've got to renovate it. You can't rebuild Old Trafford. There's too many memories. Like when you go to Old Trafford, right? Like even before kickoff, you feel something. You feel like the excitement that this is like one of the best stadiums in the world, even though it's fucking falling apart. But it's still like the history it has, and you've just got to renovate it, because if you've been on the Manchester United
What's Solly
stadium
doing?
Where's he doing?
What?
Karen, yeah. Sorry.
yeah, so I was just saying that you have to renovate Manchester. You have to renovate Old Trafford. You just got to.
Yeah, 100%, man. For me, it's too historic to rebuild it,
Okay.
and for me, yeah, we can't break it down, man. It's impossible. Like for me, we cannot. We just can't. We can't. Like Everton, look at their plans for their new stadium. What I think it's going to cost them 500 million or maybe 1 billion.
Something like that.
Something like that. And they don't even have enough. Apparently, apparently it's still obviously they're still doing the stadium, but listen, that's going to take time, man. For me, I just don't want Old Trafford to be breaking down, in my opinion.
Okay, guys.
Yeah,
Let me give you
absolutely.
on my opinion. Who's gonna finish this top 4 race? As so far we have seen.
We are
Arsenal.
winning the league. Noah, back us, back to 9.
You never know. It's this next season we're just gonna predict it. I mean, this season, I'll give it to Arsenal as well. They'll finish number 1. Second
Yes,
is
come on.
I don't know for sure. I'll say United. Second, United.
What?
Yep. Come on.
Fair
Look at
enough.
Shaking my head.
look what City are having right now. These situations, they have lost, Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus. You can't just let go those part of your main target players that may cause it. I know they might have Eric Haaland, still it's not good enough. Look at those defenders like Cancelo as well. He hasn't even great enough. Some look like Phil Foden as well. That's what I'm concerning about it. But I'll think they'll finish in third. It's Man City. Fourth, it might be Newcastle. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just
You see?
leave this. Leave this
Yeah.
there for.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes an era comes to an end. That's what he said.
Dan,
Absolutely.
what's your top 4 prediction, Dan?
I'm gonna go for City. City to win it. I feel like Arsenal will come second.
Oh,
I feel like I feel like that United will come third and Chelsea will come fourth. And let me just explain my reasons on that. So I just feel like that Arsenal, for the first time in a long time, you actually know what Arsenal's best 11 is. That's the thing. That's Arsenal are doing great this season, and they're top of the league for a reason. But with Gabriel Jesus being injured and Ødegaard and the majority of their midfield being run into the ground, I don't think that Vieira is a good enough replacement for Ødegaard. And I don't think they're who's the other box to box midfielder you have? Is
Oh, the Congo. Yeah.
The Congo, that's it. So as soon it's like when United don't have Casemiro, it's like you're replacing him with McTominay. Suddenly that starting 11 sounds shit. Like just with that player alone being replaced. So if Arsenal sign Tielemans, for example, I think they've got a good shout. And maybe even a player like Lima, because obviously his contract's up in the summer as well. So if Arsenal was to sign Tielemans and Lima, Lima.
Is he not a Bayern? Did he not go to Bayern?
No, he's still an RB Leipzig player.
No, I'm pretty sure he went to Bayern.
He's not going to Bayern yet.
Oh. But then... okay.
It was Gravenberch that went to them in the summer. He might have already agreed a deal to join in the summer, but Arsenal could still snag the deal if they wanted him to join early. So, but I feel like it's Arsenal's like lack of rotation is what's going to cost them it, and City have proven that they've not been first place in January before, and they've still ended up winning the league. So I just feel like City are too strong, and they're going to come back and win it. But I think this is a great season for Arsenal, and I think Arteta can really build off this. And I wouldn't count City out. I wouldn't count Arsenal out and winning the league in the next 3 years. That's for sure.
Okay,
but just to finish it off, obviously United, I feel like we're in a great spot. So I feel like third place, secure Champions League spot will be great, and I think we'll win the League Cup. I think that's nailed on. I'm really confident for the Carabao Cup. And the reason I say Chelsea and not Newcastle for fourth place is that I can actually see what Potter's building at Chelsea. I feel like that what Potter's building at Chelsea is really exciting. And I feel like Bowler has already nailed on saying that this is my man, I'm sticking with him. And with Newcastle, I think it's just their up-front striker, their out-and-out goal scorer is what's going to cost them. In obviously Callum Wilson's like the English Martial. You touch him over and he's out for a month. And same with Isaac. Isaac's new to the league. He's very inexperienced, and I don't think the Newcastle can rely on him that much.
Hardy, your top 4 predictions?
Well, in fourth place, I'm actually going to say Newcastle. For Newcastle, defensively, they've been absolutely excellent, and throughout the competitions this season, they've actually kept around 16 clean sheets. Irrelevant the side if you compare it to the Premier League. That's actually over 9 clean sheets, and I think defensively they're really, really solid. Offensively, they can score goals, but I could see them invest in January maybe. Get someone like Anthony Gordon, and even though he's quite average as a player, I could see them strengthening up front. So for me, I'd say Newcastle. Third, has to be United. Even though I was actually preferring us to be in second place, but I could see Arsenal finishing ahead of us. And then first place, I think, will be City.
Okay.
So City undoubtedly they have the quality to actually overturn this general inconsistency. And I feel with City as well, you can't underestimate the quality, despite losing the likes of Jesus and Zinchenko, who have been absolutely instrumental for the last couple of years. I think City certainly have a mentality to win the league.
Yeah, 100%. Manny, your top 4 predictions?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go for Manchester City to just pip Arsenal, I'm afraid. I think our poor bench strength and the fact that City are starting to regain a bit of momentum at just the right time could very well see them, overtake us. So United are nailed on for third, but where I disagree with Dan is that I actually believe that with the momentum that Newcastle have, I mean, it is easy to say that the lack of an out-and-out goal scorer might cost the team, but as with Arsenal, ashes to ashes and dust to dust. If Jesus doesn't score, Bukayo Saka must. And goals have been, forthcoming for us from all areas, including from Martin Odegaard, who was never expected to, contribute very much with the goals. So I think with Newcastle, even if you take a look at the home draw they had against Manchester City, they had Wilson, St. Maximin, and I don't recollect who the other one was. Was it Almiron who scored? It might have been,
Almiron.
yes. So, huh?
Yeah, it was Almiron. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So I think their secret so far has been the outstanding defense that they've been able to, forge with Nick Pope behind them. Some of the saves he's pulled off have been fantastic. They say goals win you games, but defenses win you championships. And as long as the goals come any which way, I think I can safely say that their defense has been extremely consistent. Just like Arsenal's hasn't been tinkered with too often. And as long as they're able to score goals from any which way, I think they'll be fine. And I think the momentum they have should see them, get a little bit stronger and just make sure that they hold off the challenges. Chelsea and Liverpool, for me, have just gone too far down and too far out of it to even be able to consider trying to mount a comeback. And although there is some promise with the likes of Mudrak and company doing well at Chelsea, it might be too little too late. It's definitely far too late for Liverpool. I think if they can hope to try and scrape into the European places and win a cup, that would be at least a decent season, albeit still a climb down from having gone for the quadruple in the previous season. So it'll be City, Arsenal, United, and Newcastle for me. And that should be it. For the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, and maybe even Aston Villa to, come into the European places, they're going to have to see some of those teams above them really start to fade away. And I don't know if we can predict that happening. So that's my top four.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Ollie, quickly, and then we'll wrap up your top four.
So obviously I back Arsenal to win the league. We'll finish first. I was speaking to someone, they said a stat that we have more points than we have now than the Invincible season. So I think that we'll do it. I'm confident. I know a lot of other fans will probably want us to
Well, I
win the
didn't
league.
remember this yet.
Been winning the league a lot. Man City keep winning the league. So it'd be nice for Arsenal to win the league. Man City second, third Man United, and fourth. It's a tough one, but I think maybe Tottenham. I think Newcastle will drop out of the top four. They might finish fifth, sixth, but I think they'll drop out. And then that's my top four.
The thing is, though, just to add something on Newcastle, obviously, just before we wrap up, is that for me, that Newcastle getting Europe as a whole is a massive achievement. And I feel like people think they're going to get Champions League football is just crazy. And even if they were to get Champions League football, yes, the attraction they'd have to other players would be great. But I feel like they'd have a season like Nottingham Forest have had this season where they bring in way too many players that don't gel together, and then they end up they won't get a consistent European spot for the following season. But that's just my opinion. I feel like that if Newcastle get Conference League or Europa League, that's perfect for them.
I'm going to disagree. I think because Newcastle also, don't forget, have had Champions League experience in the not too recent past, albeit it might have been about the best part of 15 to 20 years ago, but obviously they've had a bit of a taste of that. And I think the owners are also going to be sensible enough to know that they're not going to just buy too many players. It depends on the ownership. I agree. I take your point when you say that Forest brought far too many, but we need to consider who the owners were and the ideals they had. And obviously it didn't work out at first, but now they're comfortably mid-table and they're in a League Cup semi-final, albeit a semi-final which they are about to potentially lose unless they pull off the freakiest of freak results at Old Trafford in the return leg. But still, a cup semi-final and finishing in mid-table isn't too half bad. I mean, there were some players they brought which I wouldn't even touch with a barge pole, but I think Newcastle won't be that senseless. And I think they're also going to realize that they're going to offload quite a few players who may not fit into their plans as well to make sure that they improve their squad. I certainly don't see the likes of Dubravka staying for very long. The likes of Matthew Targett, who was brought by Newcastle, but ended up being sidelined by Dan Burn, is another one who could leave. Someone like John Joe Shelby could also be asked to make way. So they will make some responsible changes, and you just never know. You just never know. And I just think that I think the way they're playing, the way they've been managed, and the way the owners are doing things, I think they're a very sensible lot.
100%. But yeah, this top 4 race is gonna be crazy, and yeah, listen, we'll see in May. We'll see if Arsenal bottle it or win it. But yeah, we're gonna wrap up now because obviously we discussed all topics. But yeah, let's get people to shout their socials as we always do. Start off with Ollie. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so on YouTube, you guys know to find me, DJ Care on YouTube. Make sure you watch back most of my videos for the watch hours. That's decreasing, and a stream will come up soon. I'm not sure when, but yeah, stay tuned for that. And if you want to find me on Instagram, it's ollie.sinclair556. That's my personal account. Go follow me there. And if you want to find my fan page, it's Aaron_Ramsdale fan page 1. For any other socials, just DM me on Instagram.
Cool. Big up, Ollie. Hardeep, where can people find you?
Well, guys, know where to find me. HCM United down on Instagram. If you follow me personally, it's HSF7. Thank you guys for joining. And you know what? Also, shout out to Properties Kitchen. Absolutely amazing sponsor. And we couldn't do this without you guys. We're heading towards amazing things in Orange football. And if we continue consistency of sport, consistency of delivering content, there's no doubt we'll achieve absolute great milestones this year. So big up to the channel.
Big up, Hardeep, man. Big up. Manny, where can people find you?
Yeah, first of all, let me apologize for the whole mishap. I think it sort of happens when, you've had a big day and you've gone out here and there. And, when you almost get to my age, you start to feel a little bit more tired than you'd like to. And it's not nice, but it is what it is. But I also want to say thank you to our new guests who've come in, Dan and Noah. Good to have you on. And we hope to see you on future streams in the future. And as always, it's wonderful to be part of Oris Talks Football as a co-host and also being a part of more streams. You're seeing me a lot more active right now, and I'm happy to be involved too, and just having some more sensible, rational football debates, because it's not about being tribal, as I always say. It's about being respectful of other teams, having some sensible discussions about the pressing issues of the sport today in England or elsewhere, and just coming to a resolution. And that's the way it is. So in addition to Oris Talks Football, I big them up. I also want to big up Del Boy Gunner TV, S. Featley TV, Coach's Corner with Hanno Trollope, another co-host here, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV, up the cherries in all departments. Shout out to Bailey Francis also, who was here. I've done a few streams with him already. And Chelsea Dan, I do some streams with him as more of a neutral Arsenal fan who is happy to just contribute to some more debates. And there are a few more people who I've been with whom I've been on streams on and off, and I hope to be on again soon. If I haven't mentioned you today, you're still in my heart, if not my thoughts at the moment. Check in the post. And that's the way it is. I don't have a YouTube channel of my own, but you can see me on these other channels. And also want to big up S. Featley TV. I do a lot of work with him. He's not having a good time with it at the moment, but you can see me do some work with him for watch-alongs on Arsenal and some other shows as well. Twitter, you can catch me there, Thangatherai1981. Instagram, Manny Thangatherai1981. Feel free to catch me on either of those platforms. Send me a message if you want to chat football, or if you want to arrange a stream together, by all means do so. And that's pretty much as far as it goes. So take care of yourselves. Stay happy. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekend, and don't do anything any of us wouldn't do. For now, I'm out.
Manny. Dan, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on my own channel, Red Devils TV. It's just me on that channel by myself. I've recently hit over 500 subscribers, so I'm halfway to 1,000. So within 6 months, I've reached over 500 subscribers, which is just an incredible achievement for me. And obviously, I want to be the biggest Manchester United fan channel on YouTube. I'm coming for Mark Goldbridge's title. So anyway, but
You can do
yeah,
it, mate. You can do it.
but my Twitter is also Dan_Corf CORF MU. So you can find me there on Twitter. I talk a lot of shite on there at times, just expressing my opinions. And I just want to also give a quick shout out as well to the Man United Agenda and All for United. They've helped me out a lot through starting YouTube. I go on their channels too. Stream with them at time to time, and yeah, they're both great channels. So massive shout out to them, and thank you for the invite for being on this channel today as well.
No worries, man. No worries. Big up for joining. And Noah, where can people find you as well?
Anyway, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys for having me on your first debut show. Thank you for having me, guys, and I really hope that keep doing this. Don't give up your hope, your dream, achieve your goals, everything what you guys you're having success. Keep doing on your channels, make energy. So that's what I'm gonna say, and I really do hopefully. Thank you for what you say, Nami, as well. I big appreciate that, and also Oli as well. Good luck for the seasons as well.
Big up.
Good luck for the rest of the season. I hope listen. You never know what's coming until the end of the season. That's what I'll just gonna give it say. And
100%.
most of all, the host of this show, Orest, thank you, for having me. And also Dan as well. It's because of you, what you have seen me on live on Instagram post, like from Side TV, even from Can't Stop Show also as well. Thanks to you, you brought me here on this show. I hope we had a great time. Let's keep doing this until the end of the season, or even the more of that. That's what I'm gonna say.
100%, man. 100%. Big up you two for coming on. Obviously, it's a pleasure, man. Obviously, you're welcome any day of the week. Like having both of you on the channel is a great thing. So yeah, man. Big up both of you. Big up everyone in the panel. And yeah, man. Listen, make sure you smash the likes, you subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
All right, guys. Peace out.